Welcome to the Director's Corner podcast, the definitive resource for forward-thinking professionals in end-of-life care industries. If you're looking to really shake up your digital marketing and connect with families in a way that really matters, well, you're in the right place. We're not just talking about the same old strategies. We're diving deep into creating authoritative content that builds genuine engagement and trust, which is what sets you apart in today's digital landscape.
Welcome to the show. If you're running a local business, one built on trust, community ties, you face this huge challenge today.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone seems to be claiming they're, caring and local.
Exactly. So how do you actually prove it? Especially when you're competing against these huge corporate chains.
And it's really critical in emotionally charged markets like funeral and cremation services.
Yeah.
Big players are coming in, big budgets.
Yeah.
Treating end-of-life care almost like a standardized product, a commodity.
It feels like that sometimes. So today we're discussing exactly that. In a world where everyone claims to be caring and local, how do you genuinely prove it? How do you win back your community from those big box chain providers?
Well, we're looking at a framework for this, something we call human-first digital marketing.
Human-first digital marketing.
Yeah, and the core idea isn't about replacing people with tech. Not at all. It's about using the digital tools we have, websites, social media, even data, to actually amplify that human connection.
Amplify the empathy, the personalization, the things that really define independent firms.
Precisely. Because that human advantage, that's really your most defensible differentiator, is what the big guys can't easily copy.
Okay, let's dig into that tension then. You mentioned the commodity of care. What's the corporate approach that makes something so personal feel, transactional?
Well, their whole model is built around efficiency, scale.
Yeah.
They offer these standardized packages.
Cookie cutter options.
Kind of, yeah. It looks clean, efficient, but often feels sterile. The goal is often just moving families through a process quickly.
And that efficiency, while maybe good for their bottom line, it strips away the personal meaning, doesn't it?
It really can. It turns this profound, deeply personal experience into something that feels more like an impersonal transaction. And that approach, that standardization, it's actively eroding the market share for local firms that pride themselves on real customization.
So if these chains are pushing hard on price, on efficiency, how does a family-owned firm, maybe one that's been around for generations, even begin to fight back and regain that local trust?
Well, that's standardization. That's actually their weakness, their strategic vulnerability.
Or so.
They simply can't deliver truly genuine, heartfelt personalization at scale.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the model. The local firm's power lies in its ability to craft these unique, meaningful tributes.
Tributes that reflect a person's actual life, their hobbies, passions, stories.
Exactly. Not just focusing on the death, but celebrating the life.
Yeah.
So the whole digital strategy, everything online, needs to laser focus on making that capability, that human custom approach, the most visible thing about the business.
Okay, so we need a digital plan that really highlights the humanity. Let's talk about the first cornerstone of this human-first strategy, the website. It can't just be like a basic online brochure anymore, can it?
Absolutely not. It needs a transformation. Think of it as an emotionally intelligent digital sanctuary.
Emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, it's the new front door. So it needs to feel calming, trustworthy, right from the first click. We're talking high-quality photos, maybe a softer, calming color scheme, really clear navigation, anything to reduce that feeling of anxiety.
And one thing mentioned as really effective for reducing anxiety is the immersive virtual tour. Why is that so powerful?
Well, think about it. Families are often making decisions under immense stress, maybe in crisis mode. The funeral home is usually an unfamiliar place.
Right.
A well-done video tour lets them virtually walk through the chapel, the reception areas, the gathering spaces, all from home. It makes the physical space familiar.
Demystifies it a bit.
Exactly. And that's a huge relief when people are already feeling overwhelmed.
Okay, but beyond comfort, the real goal here is proving personalization. How does the website show that you offer more than just the standard corporate packages?
You have to go way beyond just listing service options.
Yeah.
You need dedicated pages, maybe even whole sections, focused squarely on what we call the authentic difference, meaning galleries, portfolios, showcase real celebrations of life, actual personalized tributes. Don't just say you customize, show it.
Examples like real photos or videos?
Yes, photos, maybe even short video testimonials. Show that service where the family turned the room into a fishing cabin theme for their dad, or the garden party reception instead of a formal gathering. You need to give people tangible examples, inspire them with what's possible.
So the website becomes less of a price list and more a portfolio of possibilities. I like that. Okay, cornerstone 2, content. This seems like where local expertise can really step up and fill that human gap you mentioned.
Right. The big corporate competitors, they're often good at the sales part, maybe automated emails, but they often lack that authentic human guidance.
Which local firms naturally have.
They're the trusted advisors in the community, so their content needs to reflect that authority, that compassion.
So things like setting up a resource hub, a blog, maybe an FAQ section, demystifying the planning process, answering tough questions, even offering grief support resources.
Exactly. And that serves the community directly, which is the primary goal. But it also has a really important digital benefit.
Ah, search rankings.
You got it. It boosts your visibility for those really specific, high-value search terms. You stop just ranking for funeral home near me and start showing up
The
for,
things people actually type in when they're confused or grieving.
precisely, questions like, how do I plan a non-traditional memorial? Or what resources are there for sudden loss? You become the go-to source for guidance, the compassionate authority online.
And what about transparency, especially when people feel vulnerable? You suggest kind of pulling back the curtain.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. Maybe a behind-the-scenes video, show the care, the professionalism, the standards that go into preparing the facilities or organizing a really complex, personalized service.
So people see the attention to detail.
It builds enormous confidence. Seeing that the people handling this incredibly sensitive time are professionals who genuinely care, that's comforting.
Makes sense. And the final piece for this section, humanizing the team with staff spotlights.
Oh, this is huge, non-negotiable, really. Use your social media, maybe a section on the website, share bios of your team members, friendly photos, maybe a little quote about their philosophy on compassionate care.
Or maybe a favorite memory of helping a family.
Perfect. It reminds the community they're dealing with real, kind, empathetic people, not just a faceless corporate logo.
That feels much more connecting. Okay, let's shift to the more advanced strategies now. Cornerstones 3 and 4. 3 is about reputation, the new word of mouth online. Reviews are everything now, aren't they?
They're absolutely critical. When a family is stressed, maybe grieving, one of the first things they do is look at online reviews. So independent firms need what we call proactive online reputation management.
Proactive, meaning you don't just wait for them to happen.
Exactly. You need a system. Gently encourage families you've served well to leave testimonials. But here's the key part. Train your staff to guide them slightly.
Guide them how?
Ask them to focus their review not just on, everything went smoothly, but specifically on the unique service they received or the kindness of the staff. Human elements.
Ah, so you're shifting the focus of the proof away from just transactional quality.
Towards relational quality, yes.
Very smart.
Because those genuine, heartfelt testimonials, talking about compassion, about a unique tribute, it's incredibly powerful social proof.
Yeah.
It validates everything you claim about being different. It shows you delivered something a chain couldn't. That kind of validation, worth far more than any ad spend.
Okay, now for Cornerstone 4, which sounds, well, futuristic but important. Predictive empathy for proactive community care, moving from reactive to proactive.
This is where things get really interesting, kind of the next frontier for human-first service. See, the corporate chains, they use data mostly to find sales leads, right?
Yeah, target advertising, find potential customers.
But local firms can use data differently. Use anonymized data to actually anticipate and address genuine community needs.
How does that work? What kind of data are we talking about?
Think about your website traffic. Are you seeing sudden spikes in visits to pages about, say, specific types of grief support? Or guides on pre-need planning? Or maybe resources for coping with sudden loss in the community?
Okay, so let's say I run a funeral home, and I notice more people are visiting the page on, I don't know, supporting a grieving teenager. What's the actionable outcome then? It's not sending them an ad, right?
Absolutely not. The outcome is recognizing that topic as a current community pain point. So the action might be hosting a free online Q&A, maybe partnering with a local youth counselor, or creating a new downloadable guide on that specific topic.
Ah, so you're providing relevant support before a family is even thinking about needing your immediate services.
You got it. It reinforces your role. You're not just a service provider. You're a compassionate community cornerstone.
Yeah.
You're building trust way before any transaction is on the table.
By serving the community first, showing up with value when it's needed, no strings attached.
Exactly. That kind of relationship, the deep trust, it's incredibly hard for a transactional competitor to break. It becomes unassailable.
It really positions the firm as a pillar. Okay, this all sounds great in theory. Let's make it concrete. You mentioned a case study, a family-owned firm under pressure.
Yes, a really compelling one. Multi-generational firm, fantastic local reputation built over like 75 years. But,
Let me guess, their website was ancient.
you guessed it, looked like it hadn't been updated since the early 2000s. And because of that, they were losing ground. Their outdated online look completely failed to show off their biggest strength, their creativity, their knack for really unique tribute services.
So online, they looked just like everyone else, even though they weren't.
Exactly. Generic online presence, despite being anything but generic in reality.
So they adopted this human-first strategy. What specific changes did they make? What did the solution look like?
They did a complete digital overhaul. The website was transformed into this inspiring portfolio. They created a vibrant celebrations of life gallery.
With real examples like we discussed.
Yes, detailed stories. Photos of personalized services, everything from, say, a memorial themed around a beloved football team, to an evening service with live jazz music instead of organ music. They shifted their whole content strategy away from just listing packages towards showcasing tribute ideas.
Okay, the big question. Did it work? Did this human-focused strategy actually help them fight back against the chains and stop losing market share?
It absolutely did. The results are pretty clear. They saw, I think it was over a 40% jump in organic search traffic,
Wow.
specifically for those high-intent, high-value terms. Things like personalized funeral services near me or unique memorial ideas.
So people were actively searching for what made them different.
Yes. And just as importantly, the perception in the community shifted. They weren't seen as the old traditional funeral home anymore. They were repositioned as this modern, compassionate leader in crafting meaningful experiences.
Did that translate to actual business? More inquiries, more families choosing them?
It did. They reported a really substantial increase in calls and emails from families who were specifically asking about unique tributes, often referencing things they'd seen in that online gallery.
So the calls changed from how much does X cost to can you help us do something like Y?
Exactly. They were attracting families seeking a specific experience, not just comparing prices.
Yeah.
And that directly reversed the trend they'd been seeing of losing families to the big impersonal chains.
That's powerful proof. That superior experience, the one built on trust, transparency, real compassion, it really is a strong defense, something that transactional guys just can't replicate.
That's the heart of it. Winning back your community isn't necessarily about outspending the giants. It's about being smarter, more strategic, using your digital presence to authentically prove those core human values, the trust, the transparency, the personalization that define you.
So if we bring it all together, these four cornerstones, the human-first website, the helpful content, the proactive reputation building, and that predictive empathy, it allows an independent firm to really elevate its role.
Yeah, you move beyond just reactively providing a service. You step into the role of being an active, indispensable cornerstone of your community.
Which leads to a final thought, really, for you listening, especially if your business relies on that local trust. What concrete steps can you take, maybe starting today, to use this idea of predictive empathy? How can you start analyzing community needs, providing support proactively?
To build that deep relationship of trust, establish yourself as that helpful authority long before anyone's even thinking about needing your core service. That kind of preemptive compassion, that proactive care, that's how you build an advantage that's incredibly hard to compete against.
Subscribe and like the Director's Corner podcast on your favorite platform to stay ahead of the curve. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode packed with actionable insights and innovative strategies designed specifically for your industry. Liking and sharing helps us reach more professionals like you, fostering a community dedicated to excellence in end-of-life care marketing. Let's transform how we connect with families together.